Glenn West. That's my T.M.I. That's my T.M.I. Glenn West.
Thank you, Contest Toastmaster. You've seen too much of it. You've heard too much of it. You have too much of it. T.M.I. When you hear T.M.I., you might think too much what? Like when you ask someone about their day and they tell you about their day, their whole day. When I hear T.M.I., I think teach, mentor, influence. That's my T.M.I. Because someone somewhere needs you to share. Have you ever shared T.M.I. with someone and left them in a better place? Who in your life has shared T.M.I. with you, leaving you in a better place? For me, it was my mom, teaching me to read. I'm 6 years old on my bed with a children's book by Margaret Frisky. And on the cover of that book is a picture of a little boy riding his horse. He rode his horse to the top of a huge hill. Baby, the letter G in that word is quiet. Quiet, G? It's silent. Just think of it as a shortcut. You can see the G, but you don't say the G. Try again. He rode his horse to the top of a high hill. And then Mama gave me one of those big old mama hugs. That's my baby. Mwah! Oh, come on, you know the one. T.M.I. Teach, mentor, influence. Someone somewhere needs you to share. 40 years later, Pioneer Elementary School is putting on a reading program to mentor kids. And my boss says, Glenn, you should volunteer. Hey, me? But how's I just found out that the word volunteer comes from an old Latin term meaning too slow to say no. Have you ever known that you don't have time for something? I know I don't have time for this. Glenn, gangs are taking over the streets. These kids are at risk. I need you to step up, because if you don't have time to influence these children, guess who will? So I stepped up. I answered the call. Then on the first day of the program, a teacher says to me, you speak Spanish and Antonio's struggling with English. I see this skinny kid with messy hair and eyes full of hope. And big feet. You might think it's difficult to speak a foreign language, but it can be easy if you follow 3 steps. 1, open up your mind. 2, open up a dialogue. And 3, open up Google Translate. 3 weeks into the program, I'm reading to Antonio from a joke book. Hey, what do you call a can opener that's broken? It's a can't opener. It's okay. Antonio didn't think it was funny either. One day, Antonio's reading to me. Hey, Mr. G, how do you say that, Mr. G? Oh, Antonio, that's an apostrophe. We don't say it. Sometimes in English, we take 2 words and smash them together to create one word. Then we take a letter out, put the apostrophe in, and the whole thing becomes a contraction. Antonio, just think of it as a shortcut. You can see the apostrophe, but you don't say the apostrophe. After learning that, Antonio started pointing out apostrophes in everything we read. What is one small thing that someone shared with you that seemed so simple, and yet it was so significant? Now I know how my mom felt when I learned that quiet G, and she gave me that big mama hug. Because when I see Antonio learn, it feels good. And I want to give him a hug, especially when he calls me Mr. G. 5 weeks later, Antonio graduated from that school reading program. Yeah. And graduating right beside him were 27 at-risk students. That's when I realized the power of T.M.I. And when it comes to volunteering, I realized I do have time. And I still volunteer my time today. It was 10 years ago when I mentored Antonio. And I don't know where he is today, but can you imagine that he's somewhere out there sharing his T.M.I., teaching his young daughter to read, and saying, "Sweetie, that is an apostrophe." But you can think of it as a shortcut. T.M.I. Teach, mentor, influence. Someone somewhere needs you to share. Mom shared T.M.I. with me. I shared T.M.I. with Antonio. And now there's only one question left for you. One question. Who? Who is that someone somewhere waiting for you to share? Step up. Answer that call.